Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast, Retro Life for You, movies of the 80s and 90s. My name is Chris Adams, host of the show. And with us this week, co-hosting is none other than Mr. Martin Phillips. What we call him
Hello
Marty.
there, Christopher.
It says Martin, but he's just, like I say all the time, I don't know why he don't give in to this already. It's just Marty.
That's right, just Marty Phillips.
I mean, he likes to feel like he's an adult and go by Martin. I should change mine to say Christopher, I guess, then.
Exactly.
I should, but I'm not going to do it, though.
Because it'll always be Chris Adams.
That's right. It's always and forever. Chris Adams. This week, well, let's just preface this by saying last week's episode, we did a 10 of our favorites. Well, 10, not necessarily of our all-time favorites, but 10 movies of the 90s that we consider to be kind of forgotten comedies that people might not have, they've seen them and they've watched them, but today they don't think about them as much, Today, we are at Marty's suggestion, taking the year 1995, and we are going to talk about 5 of our favorite movies from 1995. And then when it's all said and done, we'll throw a few honorable mentions out there and stuff like that. But Marty, 1995 was a good year for some movies.
You got that right. Like a lot of good movies.
I will tell you,
it's hard to pick from just 5, really.
It was, well, I mean, it wasn't hard for me to pick 5 exactly because it's not like it's my top 5 favorite all of throughout the year 95, but it's 5 movies that I do like because it's really impossible for me to rank them the 5 best, and it's really impossible to go, from the 5th to the number 1 movie of the year for me. I really can't have so much trouble doing that. So I always like to say 5 movies that I liked from that year or something, or 10 movies, whichever we're doing, but we're doing 5 today.
Yeah.
95 wasn't exactly my favorite year of the 90s, but a lot of good movies came out in 95 though. So,
very true.
And if you ask me what my favorite year is, I can't tell you for sure because I have to go back and research that so I can see what came out on what year.
So, well, in 95, my wife was actually pregnant with my son, and he was born in August of 96. So in 95, she was still kind of, she might have been maybe a month pregnant.
So 1 month out of the year, you didn't watch many movies, that you're saying?
True.
That's okay. Travis can't be with us this weekend. His son Connor's having his birthday party, so happy birthday to Connor.
Happy birthday, Connor.
Yeah, absolutely. Hope you guys had a great time this weekend and everything, celebrating. But he's here in spirit with us. I started to get him to just give me 5 movies, and I would just read his off, but
nah, it's better. It's better when they're in person.
I know. Then see, I thought about that. Then I thought, well, no, because he would like to give his own descriptions and talk about them and break them down, and I don't want to just throw his movies out there and just leave. Hey, that's it, But we're gonna go ahead and get started though, and like last week, Marty, why don't you go first and give us one of your 5?
All right. My first one is going to be Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. Halloween. It released in the fall of 95, and it stars Donald Pleasant and Paul Rudd. Actually, I talked about him last week on Clueless. Paul Rudd makes an appearance in this movie as Tommy Doyle, the kid from the original Halloween. They got terrorized by the shape. So and actually George P. Wilbur, that I've actually met in person, that plays Michael Myers, I actually got to meet him at one of the cons about 8 years ago.
That's always fun, isn't it?
And yes, it is. Especially the guy. Man, the guy is super cool. I mean, I actually got him to sign my DVD copy of I think it was Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, because
I think that's one of my favorites right there.
yeah, Halloween 4, yeah,
Yeah.
because he played Michael Myers in 4 and 6. So,
Awesome. Awesome.
but man, the premise of the movie is just basically, so many years has passed as the end of season. I mean, the end of Halloween 5, the Revenge of Michael Myers. Jamie is kidnapped by this dark figured cloaked person, that comes and grabs her out of the police station. And so many years has gone by, and she's actually pregnant and giving birth to a baby boy. And the cult, or whatever you want to call them, the cult of Thorn, was basically going to sacrifice her baby to, well, they were going to let Michael, I guess, kill the baby to sacrifice it to the god of Thorn. And so she's like, nope, that ain't gonna happen. I'm getting my baby out of here. And so at first she didn't know where she was at, because it just, she's running out of this building. But come to find out, towards the end of the movie, she was literally at Smith Grove Sanitarium, where Michael had been kept for so many years. And that's where this cult was being ran out of. So, but man, the movie has some of the craziest kill scenes I've ever seen in a horror movie. Literally. Like, and the thing is, New Line, Dimension was very big for like Hellraiser back in the day.
Yeah.
So Dimension put the movie out, and New Line Cinema had something to do with it also. But if it's a Dimension horror movie, there are going to be some crazy kill scenes. And one of the craziest kill scenes was when the father, like, he's standing in a pool of like water from the washing machine, and Michael just sticks the wires right into his neck, stands back, and just kind of watches, and his head explodes.
You know what? I think going forward, your name can no longer say Martin Phillips on that little thing right there. It's gotta say like Chainsaw or something. Because it's just like the guy from summer school that loves the horror movies. They call him Chainsaw. I think we're gonna start doing that with you, because you get such a love for these horror movies, and when you talk about it, it's like you smile from ear to ear. Like, oh, did you see how much the guy's head exploded?
Exactly.
Blood here,
Exactly.
blood there, guts over here, guts over there.
But did you ever watch part 6?
I've seen all of them.
You have.
Yeah,
Okay.
except for 3. I refuse to watch 3.
I've seen 3. Actually, right around Halloween time, this past Halloween, I actually watched 3.
Yeah, not me.
When I
I'm
when
sorry.
I when I first watched the movie, I didn't really care for it as much, but it's kind of grown over me on the years, just because it is a Halloween movie, and I don't know, it just has like you know a John Carpenter type feel to it, and it does. So
I just can't do it, man. I can't. It has no Michael Myers in it. I mean, it's not even related to the other movies, really.
mhm.
So it
Well,
just throws me off a little bit.
I mean,
Um,
you could actually say that basically after Halloween 6, it was like the movies that they did after didn't really feel like they were Michael Myers movies, even though he was in them. So
true, true.
I mean,
Well,
Halloween 20th anniversary, that was a waste of film. And then
Halloween
Halloween.
25, Michael Myers in the old person's home.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it's gonna be before it's over with.
Yeah.
Um, jump over to my first one here. I'm gonna throw out there. I'm gonna throw out Braveheart. Now I'm usually a person that doesn't like a lot of the movies that you see or made big deals of at the year. You know, like they'll say like the piano and chocolate and all these different things as the Notebook. All these movies
Mhm.
that are like supposed to be big time drama and special or something. I'm more like, give me Ace Ventura, give me Hackers or something. Give me something that's simple that gives me entertainment and makes me laugh, or that I think is cool action or something like that. And I like it. But Braveheart, not only was it just one of those movies that was really big and for like epic for the year, it's got a good story to it. It's based off of the historical drama centered around William Wallace, who was a 13th century Scottish warrior. He leads a rebellion against the English rule following the occupation of Scotland by King Edward I. Uh, William Wallace gets married to a woman in there, and after the secret marriage ends in tragedy at the hands of English soldiers, he rallies the clans of Scotland to fight for freedom, and that ends
Mhm.
up, coming to massive battles and political intrigue and personal sacrifice and everything. Now,
Yeah. And
while
and literally one of my favorite scenes in Braveheart
Mhm,
is literally where the one guy is about to be crowned King of Scotland, and then you see all the people that followed Wallace behind him and everything, and and then you hear the two English uh, people that are over there on the other side saying, "Oh well, hey, get ready to have your ass kissed by a Scots king," and and then you literally see the gentleman on the horse, the King of Scotland, and he pulls that handkerchief from that piece on his armor,
mhm,
and then he stuffs it back down in there, and he turns around and he looks at all the people, and they're looking at him, and he literally says, "You bled with him, now bleed with me." And then it's when he pulls his sword and he motions the charge, and then all of them literally they start like banging on their shields and they're chanting Wallace, Wallace, Wallace. And then the one cat, the redheaded dude that was his friend, he pulls his sword from his back, and then takes it and slings it into the air, and then it lands right into the ground, and then that's when you see them all starting to charge, and
yeah.
then all that, and then literally all them English dudes are like, "Oh shit, we're about to get killed." So,
They said that a lot of it, um, it's basically this is while historically inaccurate in many areas, the film is really remembered for its emotional intensity, kind of like what you're talking about there, the rousing speeches and the brutal
mhm,
the brutal battle sequences. The movie talks about freedom, loyalty, betrayal, and makes Braveheart one of the most iconic epics of the '90s. And one of the things, what is the there's like two things this movie is really and truly remembered for. And when people, if you ask somebody, "Hey, have you seen Braveheart?" With Mel Gibson, they're gonna say one of two things. They're either gonna be funny and yell the word freedom all long
mhm.
drawn out, freedom,
Yeah, exactly.
or they're gonna be like, you could they may take our lives, but they'll never
They'll
take
never
our
take
freedom.
freedom.
Yeah. The movie itself, now the principal cast of it's Mel Gibson, he plays William Wallace. Sophie, I believe her last name is pronounced Marceau. Patrick McGoohan as King Edward I, Catherine McCormick, Angus McFadden, Brendan Gleeson, and David O'Hara. David O'Hara is Stephen the Irishman. Brendan Gleeson was Hamish or Hamish.
How
Uh,
much? Yeah, that was
Hamish.
his redheaded the guy with the red hair and the beard. So
Yeah. Angus McFadden was Robert the Bruce, Catherine McCormick was Muron, and Sophie Marceau was Princess Isabel. But anyway, Brendan Gleeson, if the name sounds familiar to any of you out there, if you're a Harry Potter fan, that's Mad Eye Moody. Um, one of my favorite
Oh, yeah,
things,
yeah, okay.
yeah, it's Mad Eye Moody. One of my favorite things though Brendan Gleeson's ever been in. It cracks me up every time. Lake Placid, um, with Oliver Platt and Betty White and Bill Pullman and such. And the thing that I remember about him in this movie so much is there's a little chunk, I guess, of the person left over that the alligator didn't eat, and Oliver Platt holds it up to Brendan Gleeson and goes, "Was this your friend?" And he just looks at him disgusted and goes, "He was taller." you know, I just stuff like that just really cracked me up. Brendan Gleeson's great though. A lot of good movies with him. Some of the things with this movie though, Mel Gibson both directed it, starred in it. He won Best Director at the Oscars for it.
Mhm.
Um, the years
Before he went crazy.
before he went crazy, they say. The battle extras. There are many battle extras that were members of the Irish Army Reserves. The movie won 5 Academy Awards, as I said, including Best Picture. Well, no, he got Best Director, but in as well also got Best Picture. And the big thing about this movie, budget 53 to 72 million, somewhere in that range. Worldwide gross was approximately 210 million. It's one of the highest grossing R-rated films of 1995, and it had a massive home video success when it came out.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
And
it's just
I even own my own copy in the living room.
an
So,
all around great movie. So,
yeah.
what's your second one, Marty?
Well, my second one is going to be Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight.
William Sadler.
Yep, William Sadler, the guy that was in Die Hard Part 2.
Part two. He was
Yeah.
also Death.
And yeah, The Bogus Journey, Bill and Ted.
How's that little rhyme go? Something about something or drive a street sweeper, but eventually you had to come dance with the Reaper.
Yeah. But if the cast in the movie, like you said, William Sadler, he played Breaker. Billy Zane played the main villain in the movie. And let's see, Jada Pinkett Smith was in it. Thomas Hayden Church was also in the movie. And the movie basically boils down to is that Billy Zane's character is, like I said, quote unquote, the villain, the main villain. And he's after Breaker because Breaker has this flask that's almost like a medallion. And it basically holds like what was left of Christ as he died on the cross. It had some of his blood in this chalice. And basically, the demons from hell wanted to destroy this thing. That way, they can actually come back to Earth and wreak havoc on people and possess people's bodies as they did in the movie, as the movie progressed. But, so, I mean, overall, if you'd ever watched an episode of Tales from the Crypt, kind of felt like a longer version of a Tales from the Crypt episode, but it was excellent. Like, great. This movie is great.
It's been so long since I've seen it, but it was really good when it came out. I remember watching it at the theater.
Yeah, that was actually one that did go see at the theater. So,
Mhm.
and I loved it when the Crypt Keeper introduced the movie. I mean, just seeing him, pull up in this limo, and he comes stepping out, and he's walking up, and he's all like, don't take my picture, don't take my picture. So,
I'll be here all week signing autographs,
Mhm.
please.
Yeah.
No flash photography.
Mm,
Man. My next one is Outbreak. Outbreak. It's a medical disaster thriller that follows the rapid spread of a deadly fictional virus known as Mataba, originating in Africa and making its way to a small town in California. As panic spreads, military scientists race to find a cure while uncovering a decades old government cover up involving biological weapons. Except for that last line, doesn't all that sound familiar to something about you recently?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The film blends real epidemiological concepts from, oh, what's a big word? Epidemiological. I said that with no problem. I got
You
my
did. Yeah,
education.
you get a thumbs up.
I got my education, everybody. I graduated, all right. Um, concepts with Hollywood spectacle, exploring ethical dilemmas surrounding quarantine, civilian safety, and military secrecy. Thanks, ChatGPT. It's a tense pacing, large ensemble cast, and frightening what if scenario made it especially memorable and eerily relevant decades later. Yeah, this is like now this came out before, obviously, because it's 1995. But this is like when you hear the descriptions. I first talked about it,
Yeah.
people be
COVID,
like, COVID
COVID,
19,
COVID,
COVID
COVID.
19, China, it's
China.
China,
Yeah,
China,
yeah.
not Africa, but China.
It
The
it almost reminded me of I know Outbreak was before it, but there was a movie that was called Contagion
yeah,
that they did in 2000. I want to say 2010 or something like that.
yeah,
But that was almost on the same lines as Outbreak. But the thing is, when you actually see what caused everything in Contagion at the very end of the movie,
hmm,
you're kind of just sitting there and you're like, dude, this killed off 90% of the world's population. And this literally like if that is what caused this, you're sitting there and you're like, dude, I mean it's crazy because it all had to do with a pig and a bat, and and that and that
pig.
whole yeah, and it was basically like the disease came from bat droppings that landed in the pig's food, and then it turned into this virus. I mean the contagion. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, well, I'm getting off. I'm getting off topic, but Outbreak was like excellent movie. Rene Russo, I mean Dustin Hoffman, both of them are excellent in the movie.
Yep.
So,
Justin Hoffman, Renee Russo. Oh, it's got a great cast though. The two you mentioned, Hoffman and Russo, Morgan Freeman, Donald Sutherland, Cuba Gooding Jr., Kevin Spacey, Patrick Dempsey. I mean, that's just throwing out a few. There's some others in there too that have been in plenty of good movies. So, uh, definitely great cast. If you like a good thriller, this is a movie you want to watch. It is
mhm, and the monkey was crazy in the movie.
right. And listen, this movie was released during a real life Ebola outbreak, which had audiences' anxiety heightened a lot when they watched it because they're knowing because it's possible for something like this to happen because this real life Ebola outbreak has already happened. Um,
Exactly.
the virus spread via airborne particles, a controversial, exaggerated scientific element, it says, revived in popularity during global health crisis, particularly COVID-19. The film's monkey became one of the most memorable and feared animal characters of the decade because, that little monkey, little cute little monkey, it's
Yeah,
going to
little spider monkey and then just causes like way too much of damage.
And we're going to go off topic again for one more second. Have you guys heard about the monkeys that were loose in the streets of St. Louis? I think it was in Missouri.
What? What?
It was yes,
I,
it was four. It's like 4 or 5 monkeys they kept seeing in the streets there, and I kept thinking to myself, "There's going to be one of my movies coming up." I'll just go ahead and give you a little. I'm not going to talk about it completely, but I'll reference what's coming up here soon. I kept thinking, who's playing Jumanji? Somebody's out there. There's monkeys
Yeah,
below the
really.
street in St. Louis. Come on. And they're little small monkeys, just like the ones you remember in Friends, how, Ross had Marcel the monkey?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
kinda looked like that kinda monkey, I think.
What?
So, yeah, it's
Like a
crazy.
like
It's
a capuchin?
I don't know exactly what it was he had, but it just looked like it.
Yeah,
But
capuchin is the capuchin is like they got those the beards.
yeah, like a little small beard. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, little small beard. Yeah, that's a capuchin.
So,
So
I guess it's I don't know if people had them as pets and they got loose out of a zoo or something or what, I have no idea, but I cracked up when I saw it. Uh, the budget was approximately $50 million. It worldwide gross was 190 million. It opened at number 1 in the US and remained a strong performer throughout its run. So, great movie to have to watch. It was good, did well at the theater, did great on VHS and DVD when it came out. Uh, well worth the watch if you get a moment to sit down and watch it. So, Marty,
yes, yes.
number 3.
Number three for me is gonna be what's in the box?
What's in the
What's in
box?
the box? What's in the box? Is
Don't
seven.
open it. Don't open it. Rule.
Seven was an amazing, amazing movie for 95. It was
Very well written.
way, way before its time.
Yeah,
I
very,
mean,
very well written. Great story.
yes. Brad Pitt, speaking of Morgan Freeman, Kevin Spacey, and Kevin Spacey, he blew my mind. I mean,
Very methodical, wasn't he?
the way he was in that movie, it showed that that man is an awesome, awesome, awesome actor. So, and everything that he's literally done ever since he done Seven has literally been his like Seven was his like you know his top notch, but everything after has just been a step above, a step above, a step above.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we can say a lot about his acting career for sure. Some people today would probably step on his personal his personal life, but I mean,
well, yeah, I
um,
mean, it's personal
he
life. You can't really look at a person's acting and their personal life as like two different things.
this is
So,
something I'm on a different podcast with a friend of mine. I'm just gonna refer to him as Mr. KS if he's listening. Mr. KS, what's up? Uh, he has a wrestling podcast, and we both grew up wrestling fans, wrestling nuts when we were younger. There was a wrestler named Chris Benoit, great wrestler, you know, great wrestler
mhm,
over the years. Unfortunately, he ended up with some concussion issues and medical issues, and it made him just practically lose his mind, is what people say. There's controversy about it. Okay, there's conspiracy theories, but doctors say that the concussion has affected his brain so badly that he just lost his mind, basically, along with all the steroids he took, and
right,
he killed his wife and kids and committed suicide. The conspiracy of it, if you want to look it up, says that he didn't do it. Somebody else killed all of them, made it look that way. But that's for a different type of podcast on another day. So,
mhm,
anyway, very similar situation. You can't really talk about his personal life when you're if you're looking at his career. He had a great career, but it's kind of marred by his personal life in a sense. Kevin Spacey kind of reminds me of that because he has so many great movies and great roles that he's did, and it's really hard to look down on it when you know about some of his personal life stuff, which we're not really going to talk about.
right,
But if you really want to know out there, if you're listening, you want to know, just Google Kevin Spacey. You can find out anything you want about him. But
mhm,
yeah, his role in this movie, Marty, he's so methodical and so just
yeah. Just
meticulous about what he's done and what he's wanting them to find and everything.
yeah, and then just him going about making the seven deadly sins, you know, actual life. I mean, creating everything, bringing it to life. You know,
Mhm.
gluttony, wrath, and I mean, it's just. I mean, like you said, it's so methodical. That I mean, just the simple fact of literally like when Kevin Spacey just walks right into the police department, and he when he walks in, and part of his shirt is covered in blood, and his hands are covered in blood, and then so all these police officers are like, hey, put your hands up, put your hands up, and then Brad Pitt comes down the stairs, and then he's just like got his gun right on him, and he's like, put your hands up, don't you blah 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 moving. And then that's when Kevin Spacey, just his demeanor, just straight face, no expression, no nothing, just throws his hands up, and then he just literally he says, like, I think there's a part where the Morgan Freeman's character and Brad Pitt are talking outside the interview room, and literally Kevin Spacey has just been in the room for like hours and not saying a word to nobody. And then he just kind of basically he just kind of looks at the mirror, like the two-way mirror, and he does like this, and he's pointing at his watch, like, and then that's when Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman go in there, and then they're asking him, hey, why are you pointing at? And then he says, time's almost up. We got to be somewhere. Yeah. And then the whereabouts, the where. Yeah. I was like,
What's in the
but,
box?
but I mean, but that was the whole thing that I loved about Seven is that you knew what was in the box, but you didn't know exactly what was in the box
Hey,
because
who's a
because it was,
crazier? Who's the crazier, more methodical villain? Is it Kevin Spacey in Seven, or is it Anthony Hopkins in Silence of the Lambs as Hannibal Lecter?
I'm still gonna pull for Kevin Spacey in Seven. I mean, I believe me, I do, dude. The Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal, what was that? Something Dragon,
Red Dragon.
Red Dragon. Excellent movies. I love them. But still, just how Kevin Spacey's character was in Seven, just just blew me away. So because the simple fact of where Brad Pitt stays in the car with Kevin Spacey, and Morgan Freeman's character is running up there to see what the delivery was that was dropped off from the van. You know, he pulls out a switchblade, pops it open, pulls the box open, opens it up, and then he jumps back like he's like he just grabs him, like you couldn't even say anything. You didn't know, you did not know if it was Gwyneth Paltrow. Her character was married to Brad Pitt, and
Right.
so you didn't know if it was her severed head in that box or if it was the dog, because they had a pet dog, and Morgan Freeman could have reacted to both. He could have saw the dog's head in there and kind of jumped back,
Yep.
like.
Right.
But when Brad Pitt comes walking up with Kevin Spacey, and that whole line, "What's in the box? What's in the box?"
What's in the
and
box?
and then he's like, and then Morgan Freeman's character saying, Will, don't get any closer, just stay away, stay back, and the only and then Kevin Spacey was like, he was like, she begged me for her life.
Yeah.
She she begged me for her life and her unborn child.
Ooh.
And as soon as he said that, it was just like the image of her eyes in Brad Pitt's mind, and they close. And dude, he's already whipped out his gun, and he's like, pop, 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 and just guns him down. I was like, dude, crazy, crazy.
Crazy movie. Spoiler alert, though. Spoiler alert. He meant to preface that with spoiler alert.
Yeah.
The thoughts and views of Martin Phillips are not those of us at Retro Life for You. Just so you know, he forgot to say spoiler alert
Hey,
for
if they've never seen Seven before, they are missing out. I'm just saying.
we always say in all honesty, we're sorry if we ruin anything for anybody, but this is 2026 now. If you haven't seen anything from the 80s or 90s yet, then I'm sorry. You can still go back and watch it and enjoy any movie we talk about. It's going to be just as fun to watch and just as great. So,
Mhm,
but anyway, yeah. My next one's The Quick and the Dead. I've always loved the modern westerns. Like
definitely.
Young Guns being my favorite. American
Uh,
Outlaws, Texas Rangers,
my favorite modern western's got to be Tombstone,
and yeah,
hands
that's what I
down,
was gonna say. Tombstone as
hands
well.
down, Tombstone.
Um,
But Quick and the Dead is right behind it.
yeah,
So,
this is as they refer to him, stylized western. Follows a mysterious female gunslinger known only as the Lady, who rides into the town of Redemption to compete in a deadly quick draw tournament run by the ruthless outlaw John Harrod, which is Gene Hackman. Each duel brings her closer to confronting the man responsible for her father's death. Now, you get flashbacks in the movie of Gene Hackman and his little gang of guys that ran around with him. And
mhm.
her father used to be a sheriff
Oh,
of
do you know who her father was in the movie?
Gary
As
Sinise.
Gary Sinise.
It's
Yeah,
Lieutenant Dan, but he had legs.
yeah.
Um, oh yeah, Gary Sinise, great guy, great actor. He played the father, and I'm not gonna say what they did, but they gave her an opportunity to save him, and she failed. And
Was that Russell Crowe's very first movie, The
yes,
Quick and the Dead?
yes,
I thought it was
and
because
Sharon Stone had to fight to get him in the movie.
really.
Yes, that's there. I was reading that earlier. She had to fight to get him after seeing the audition. Had to fight to get him in the movie. I guess she really wanted him in there, and I guess they were uncertain as to whether it would
Mhm.
work or not, but she fought for him and got him in there. This was his first one. So, it's
Nice.
directed by Sam
Nice.
Raimi. Um, Sam Raimi did he do the Spider-Man
The
movies as
Spider
well?
Man's and Evil Dead.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, this is the film blends classic Western tropes with exaggerated visuals, extreme close-ups, and some fast-paced editing. While initially underappreciated, it has a since gained cult status for its bold style and standout performance. The principal cast of it: Sharon Stone as Ellen slash the Lady, Gene Hackman as John Harrod, Russell Crowe as Court. He played a previously outlaw gunslinger turned
Preacher.
preacher
Preacher. Yep.
and refuses to kill anymore. Leonardo DiCaprio as the kid.
Was
Uh,
that like Leo's second or third movie?
I don't know, but I think
He was young.
he was
He
20
was
years old in the filming of the movie.
yeah, he was young in it. So
Gary Sinise, we mentioned, played her father in the flashback scene. Lance
yeah.
Henriksen plays one of the outlaws there for the quick draw tournament. And
Mhm.
Pat Hingle, I believe Pat Hingle is the one of the guys that owned is a that's a prominent in the town that Gene Hackman has taken over.
Yeah, the bartender, right?
He may
Right.
be he may be the bartender. Yes, he's the one that talks to Sharon Stone's character as well as
Mhm.
the blind kid or whatever and all the stuff.
Man, one of my favorite scenes was I love that part when the blind kid pours that red ink out onto the ground.
Yeah, yeah,
And I was like, dude, that is so slick.
yeah. Fooled you, didn't it? Fooled everybody. So
Yeah.
something. Um, I mentioned Russell Crowe's American film debut. Sharon Stone fought to get him in. DiCaprio was 20 in the movie. Raimi used comic book style visuals and camera tricks uncommon in westerns at the time, and Gene Hackman reportedly disliked the film during production, but now he's praised his villainous performance in it. He played one heck of a villain in this movie.
Oh, dude, like that.
And
I've never been a big fan of Unforgiven, but the only thing that saved that movie for me was Gene Hackman as the villain. I mean, I've tried to like Unforgiven with Clint Eastwood and Gene Hackman and all them,
yeah.
it just was. It bored me to death. It put me to sleep.
Was
I,
Unforgiven the one where they called him preacher?
no, Unforgiven was the one where he tells Gene Hackman's character. He said he basically tells him, he said, "I've killed everything that's crawled, walked, and he said, I've killed anything that's crawled and walked and has stumbled." And he said, "Today, little Bill, I'm going to kill you." So, and that was like one of the most memorable lines in the movie. So,
Well, he did a great job in this one. This has several memorable moments in the movie, I think.
oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah,
Anything from the flashback of her trying to save her father up into the staging of what they did later toward the end to the gunfight with her and Gene Hackman, because he's supposed to be faster than anybody out there.
hmm
And he's
but you know what I think what messed him up was literally when she pulled her father's sheriff's badge out of her pocket
they
and
threw it at him.
slung it on the ground,
Yeah,
and it landed straight upright.
and now he knows who
And
she
then
is.
he looks down, and he looks back at her, and he looks back down, and he looks back at her, and I think that's what threw him off. If
I
she hadn't have threw his badge down, I think she would have got shot first.
if we're going off the basis of the movie and what we're thinking about it, when that badge lands and he looks at it and he realizes, and reality sets into him who she is now,
Hmm.
that has to strike a little bit of a fear in his heart. A
Exactly.
little bit of a fear, because he had told court he didn't fear nobody, but he's a little bit worried about him though, because he's really good, and he
Yeah,
didn't want to.
because he ordered his men to shoot him. He
Yeah,
said, I don't care what happens. If he wins, if I win, if he wins, shoot him dead.
yeah.
So, and
Well,
I was like,
they were about to have theirs, and the town starts, blowing up. They start blowing things up, right? And then she
mhm,
comes out there, and then it's like when he figures out who she is, he realizes. I think what happens is that strikes some sort of fear in him, like, oh my god, she's
yeah,
supposed to be dead already, and now this is the
mhm,
girl from back at the time. This is that little girl. She's
yeah,
come back for revenge on her
revenge.
father.
Yep,
And one of the things that drives people really hard can be revenge.
exactly.
So I mean, but all around great movie. You get a chance once again, like everything else I've said, watch this movie. If you love modern westerns like Young Guns and Tombstone and American Outlaws and such, you gotta watch this movie. The Unforgiven. What's the other movie with Clint Eastwood where he played preacher? We just did that not too long ago when me and
Pale
Travis.
Rider, I think.
Pale Rider,
Wasn't
there you go.
it?
Pale Rider, such a great movie as well. Watch this
Yeah.
movie, Quick and the Dead. You won't be disappointed at all. Marty, you're number 4.
My number four. Uh, let's see. I'm trying to remember all of my movies that I decided to pick on. Well, I know my number four, I guess, is going to be Species
Okay,
from 1995.
Natasha.
Uh, yeah, I can't remember the cast. Uh, the
That's because
only
Marty doesn't do
I don't.
research.
I know I don't do no research, man. I don't.
I am not
But
trying to throw him under the
but
bus
I
or set
will.
him out there, but Marty don't do research.
But I can tell you this: Michael Madsen was in the movie, and his character was really cool. And then the one black dude that has the that eye condition where his eye kind
Forrest
of
Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker. He's in it. And I want to say the one that plays the lady, the Eve. That's Natasha Helms or
You're not even sure the star of the movie.
Natasha something
Natasha Henstridge.
Henstridge. Yeah, but dude, the movie is great. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. what it boils down to is basically they take the human DNA and alien DNA and splice it together, and they create Eve. And it's basically at one point, she's like a little girl, and then she escapes and from the lab. And Ben Kingsley is the doctor in the movie. I just remembered that. He's the one that goes after her. He's the one that gets the whole group together that goes looking for her and everything. And they're looking for a kid at first, but then when she's aboard the train and she starts eating all this junk food, it's like she cocoons herself, and once she does that, she's like fully grown. And and basically what it kind of boiled down to in the movie is that she wanted to uh, procreate, make more of her species, more of the species that's alien and human hybrid. And at one point, she gets her wish. She gets a dude, and they have the boom boom and
The boom boom.
and and then and that whole scene was crazy because afterwards she's literally on top of him, and he's just like got this big smile on his face, and then she grabs her stomach and she goes, "I feel it, I feel it, I feel life," and he just kind of laughs at her. He's like, he laughs at her and he's like, "You feel life?" And she's like, "Yeah, I feel life. Feel it right here in my stomach." And he kind of grabs her stomach and he kind of looks at her and he's like, "Oh," and then before he could even get it out, she's already got a clawed hand up and just ripped into his chest.
Man, you can remember all that, but you know what? I just want I was teasing you about the research thing, but you got the movie down pat. You got the little scene very vivid. But
Mm,
since you didn't research, admittingly, I have to say, Marty, this is what happens when you don't do research for us.
You just made the list.
whatever, man. Whatever.
You just made the list, Marty.
Hey,
Hey, Species though,
At least I know what happened in the movie. Look,
Species sound it is a great movie though. Didn't they go on to be several sequels to that?
dude, that movie had Species One, Species Two. Species One and Species Two was great. By the third movie, they should have just hung it up
That happens
because
with a lot of stuff, Marty.
yeah, yeah, like I said, one and two,
Would you
excellent.
agree? Well, would you agree that for whatever reason they do this mostly with horror movies though?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Just take Halloween for instance. Like I touched on Halloween 6, The Curse
right.
of Michael Myers. Halloween 1 and 2, you know, excellent movies. Had something to do with Michael Myers.
4 and 5 were good.
4 and 5 were good. They were decent. I won't say they were the greatest, but they were good. They were watchable.
Mm-hmm.
3 had nothing to. And it's like that. Okay, it's like 1 and 2, and then 3, and then it's like 3 just literally kind of goes off the rails. In any kind of horror genre, it's like you're either gonna get a good one or a bad one. Goes for Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth. Good movie. Not the greatest, but it was good. Scream 3. Not the greatest, but it was okay to watch. It's just, for instance,
Elm Street 2.
Jaws 3 and 3D. Okay,
Yeah.
not so much.
Well, listen. If you watch Jaws 3 without thinking about the 3D part of it, if they'd filmed it not in 3D and just made a regular movie, it would have been a whole lot better.
Yeah,
It would have had some of the cheesy stuff that you see in it. It was a decent story. It was a pretty good movie, but you
yeah.
can't.
It was
It's hard to
pretty
get past
decent.
the 3D stuff.
Yeah.
So, all right. Moving on to my next one here. I got The Net. I loved this movie when it came out. because
Sandra Bullock.
in 1995 is practically when I first started getting into computers. And all these things they were doing in it. I mean, I knew that it's not exactly that's really not how things are done, right? It's not that simple. It's not that easy what they were pulling off and doing. But it was interesting though, because if you're just getting into computers and you know the power of what computers can do, programming and hacking and stuff like that, then it just made the movie that much more fun. But you had to keep a little reality base to it as well. But
Right.
the Net is a techno thriller centered on Angela Bennett, played by none other than
Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock. She is a reclusive computer analyst whose identity is digitally erased after she stumbles upon a dangerous cyber conspiracy. With her records altered and her past wiped clean, she must survive while exposing a shadowy organization manipulating the early internet. At the time, the film tapped into growing fears about technology, privacy, and identity themes that would later prove surprisingly prophetic, because it's not anything for today for someone who really knows what they're doing with the computers to wipe out somebody's existence basically digitally. I
Yeah,
mean,
you could literally do that. I mean, you can hack into a system and then just wipe them completely gone.
I mean, the whole thing about taking somebody's identity. It happens all the time. This is why these people call on the phone and they try to fish for information from people, and that's what phishing technically is. Not phishing FISHING, but PHISHING phishing. They're wanting to get they're trying to find out like names, and they're trying to find out dates of birth and that last four of social. And
and you can backtrack somebody's social just from their date of birth. I mean,
it's not difficult to get some of these things, and it's a scary thing to what can be done. And what's scarier today is the fact that you can AI somebody's voice, their image, their likeness, and everything else, and make videos and audio of some of these people. And while you're stealing their identity digitally, and if you've got their voice that you can make like a phone call with at that point as well, I mean, that's really scary stuff.
yeah.
Sandra Bullock is the main character in it. Jerry Northam plays Jack Devlin, the guy that's after her. Dennis Miller is her doctor, Dr. Alan Champion. Diane Baker's in it as well. I think Diane Baker, it don't have her name for character, but she may be the woman who took the place of Angela Bennett as the new Angela Bennett.
Yeah.
And the reason why it was so easy for them to do this to her was she worked from home all the time. She didn't go into the office hardly ever. She very rarely left her house. She would order pizza and stuff to get sent in, or food to get sent in. She was very much a recluse. She was very much not outgoing or anything. So all those put together, plus someone's computer access, knowing, and they were phishing her in the movie too, in the chat rooms they were in. She's typing about things she's looking for and stuff, and the guy she's chatting with is actually Jeremy Northam's character. He's fishing for all this information from her to get her to trust him and stuff. And a couple of behind the scene things. One of the first mainstream films to focus on cybercrime and digital identity theft. And once again, digital identity theft, very, very real, very big. She was at the height of her mid-90s stardom following Speed. The film inspired a short-lived TV series and a direct-to-video sequel. I never watched the direct-to-video sequel.
I never did.
It had nothing to do with her or anything anyway.
I want to say one of the most memorable scenes out of The Net was like towards the end of the movie was when she tricked a boy across the little metal bridge. He didn't see that the bridge was like, part of it was cut out, and she was standing on the other side of it because she had jumped it and landed on the other side and was waiting for him. And he's walking on across and just looking straight at her, and then he just drops clean. I was like, dude, why didn't you look down? I mean, you could have just looked down for a brief second and then look right back up.
Right.
I mean,
No, you're right. And while many of the internet concepts were exaggerated in the movie, um, is very forward thinking for the era. So I mean,
mhm,
like I said, the stuff they did is not exactly how it works. Okay, I mean, you can't just do what they did in the movie and that easily get somebody's information and stuff.
yeah.
There's a lot more work involved with it, but they made it very fun, very interesting, and it's enough to spark some worry in you if you're entering an age of computers that way, seeing what people can do and
When
stuff.
and we are in the age of computers right now. So, like you said,
We are beyond the age of computer. We're almost Skynet at this point. Okay,
exactly.
we're gonna have
And,
Terminators out there coming for us soon, or the
yeah,
iRobot.
hey, Elon Musk, man, he's working on them Terminators right now. He's got
Telling you,
one. He's got one running around in his factory building shit.
yes, yes. Pretty soon, they say a lot of Walmarts will be closed down for you don't go in and shop anymore. You just tell them what you want, and you come there and pick it up. And they got robots going to the store and down this a little line and packing and boxing up and all this other stuff. It's crazy the theories they have and what they can do with them and everything. But technically, Walmart already has two kind of robotic kind of things going on. One of them is a little mini what do you call 'em? Zamboe,
Zamboni, or
whatever you see like in hockey games.
yeah,
Little miniature version of that drives itself around with pre-programmed specs of the store in it, and it's got these things on the front that if it detects anything in front of it, it stops. When it's
yeah,
out of the way, it picks up and goes again. So they've also got this thing in some stores that goes up and down the aisles and raises up and down each 4 foot section and goes down to one point of the forward section, down to the next shelf, back this way, down to the next one, back that way. And it scans for your outs and everything. It scans the sticker, and if the sticker says your inventory is out, it's not looking for physical stuff on the shelf. It's going by database stuff where it says it's in the inventory. And if it
yeah.
says
But
it's
that
out,
can be wrong though. It can be
right, it
wrong.
can be because they plug a lot.
It can over order.
Right,
So
well, that's because people plug a lot and everything, so you never know, and
mm,
then you know, next thing you know, the numbers are off and everything. Anyway, another story. Uh, that's another thing they got going on for them currently right now, and that's just the beginning of it. That's not even the fancy stuff they'll have later on when it comes to pulling items and it's
yeah.
crazy. The budget.
OGP will be out of business. There'll be
Telling you.
robots going around working with the OGP.
Telling you. Hey, the Amazon fulfillment centers,
yeah,
UPS
I,
UPS already has something in their places that does something similar to this. I mean,
yeah, yeah.
so it's coming. It's coming eventually. Now, if there's
And
ever a
it's, and
point in
it's not
time,
and
if
it's
there,
not just maybe 5 6 years from now. It's more like 2 to 3 years
yeah,
from
now
now.
if there's ever a time
Yeah,
where we can have our own little thing like Star Trek: The Next Generation has, where I can walk into it and go, "Make me a chocolate milkshake," and a chocolate milkshake appears. Okay, I can live with this. I
yeah,
can live, but
I can live with a replicator that
but
gives me food.
but if the future instead is not a replicator and it's a Terminator instead, I don't want that. This movie though, the net box office approximately $22 million. It made $110 million worldwide. It was very much a surprise hit, particularly strong in the international markets, but no one thought it was going to be that big of a hit. And then it went on, of
And
course,
then it
to
blew up. Yeah.
and then it blew up again when it hit, for sale and everything. So, Marty, your number 5 movie.
My number 5 is going to be a movie with Sigourney Weaver and Holly Hunter. And it's from 1995. And it is a movie called Copycat. It is a
Maybe to make you a
it,
meatloaf.
it is a basically a horror slash thriller type movie, which I've kept with my theme. This whole entire top 5 from '95 has been thrillers and horror movies. So, But basically, what it kind of boils down to is that Sigourney Weaver's character is kind of like a profiler, and is working with Holly Hunter's character, which is an FBI agent, which they are tracking down a newfound serial killer that is basically copycatting all of these previous serial killers, all the way down to Bundy to the Zodiac killer and other killers, as of maybe even Jack the Ripper. So, but if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. Very, very, very good. So,
Absolutely. And Sigourney Weaver, I mean, I know you probably heard me mention under my breath a little bit, have Sigourney Weaver make you a meatloaf. If you remember if you're a Jeff Foxworthy fan, there's a joke behind that. Just go to YouTube, type in Jeff Foxworthy, Sigourney Weaver meatloaf, and you'll get it. It'll show you. But to be quick little funny story, I know somebody who has a stove that's a smart stove. You know, you can get everything these days. You can get that goes on Bluetooth.
Smart everything.
They'll work from your app on your phone and everything. And she named her stove Sigourney. And I asked her. I said, "Yeah, that's cool and all, but can Sigourney make a meatloaf? You know, can it make a good meatloaf?" Go look it up. You'll get the humor in it. You'll love it. My last one I got is Jumanji. I mentioned earlier I was going to have Jumanji on here. It's a fantasy adventure about a magical board game that brings jungle dangers into the real world. There was it kind of had a flashback early on about a young kid and a girl in school he likes were playing the game. They had found the game, I guess, somewhere, or his dad brought it home or something.
It was
in the house.
They were digging a hole by his dad's company. I think the water had like exploded or something.
Yeah,
and it was buried in the dirt. And young Robin Williams finds that box and pulls it out of the dirt. Yes. And he's kind of holding it there for a minute. He swipes it down and it says Jumanji.
And they decided to go play the game.
And then he kind of wants to kind of drop it, kind of leave it, because he's looking at this thing like, it's just a board game. But then all of a sudden it goes, dum, 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 dum. And he's all like, "Oh, what's that?"
Let's see what this is coming. Where that's coming from.
Exactly. Let's open this mysterious box that just made like drum sounds at me. So
I'll tell you with this horror movie. Anyway, ignore me, people. Ignore me. When the two children accidentally fast forward past this, the game basically sucks him into the game, and the girl gets away, and it messes her up. She says, for a while, she's always a therapist on therapist on therapist. So anyway, but he disappears. The kid's name is Alan Parrish. Father owns the company. It's a town tragedy and everything.
Yeah, because they think the father killed the son.
Right, but there was
did they say that he killed the son and the mother, or just the son?
Just the son, I believe. I think the mother left, didn't she?
Yeah.
So, so fast forward to many years later. There's two children. They find the game, and they decide they're going to play it, and they accidentally free Alan Parrish, a man trapped inside the game for decades. And when it happens, they must now finish the game together, because this is the only way you can reverse its effects. You have to finish the game.
Yeah, and then everything starts coming out of the game.
Yes, but once you start, you can't stop. Nothing's going to end until you finish the game. And one person makes it home.
Yeah, and yells, Jumanji!
Blending adventure and comedy and cutting edge at the time, at least anyway, visual effects. Jumanji became a family classic, balancing thrills and emotional depth, particularly through Robin Williams' heartfelt performance.
Performance. Hey, man,
Monkeys,
he's just being Robin Williams.
monkeys running on the streets, man. Monkeys running on the streets. Monkeys driving police cars.
That was one of my man. I died laughing when it was David Allen Greer, and I think it was David Allen Greer and the woman from Cheers,
Maybe Newworth.
Fraser's wife.
Maybe Newworth.
Yeah, that's her name. But they're literally standing outside his cop car, and they're talking, back and forth, and then all of a sudden that vine comes out and grabs his daggone cop car and crunches that thing up and sucks it into the forest, and he's over there just like, I.
He was a former employee at the boy's father's factory.
Yeah,
and he got fired over his shoe or something like that.
Yeah, that Allen put on the conveyor belt.
Yeah, and he got fired from it. So the principal cast of this movie, you got Robin Williams as Alan Parrish, Kirsten Dunst and Bradley Pierce played the two kids, Judy and Peter Shepard. Bonnie Hunt plays Sarah. She was the little girl.
Yeah, she was the little girl that got chased out.
And the grown up, they had to go seek her out as a grown up because they can't go any further on the board because it's now her turn to roll again.
Yeah, so they literally have to go get her from her house.
It's a trickery into doing it, which was so funny. So funny how he did it. He's like, "Well, just give me the dice back then." She goes to drop it in his hands. He moves his hand.
And he moves his hand and then drop down, and he's like, "Oops."
Jonathan Hyde plays two characters in the movie. He plays Van Pelt. He plays Sam Parrish, Alan's father, and David Allen Greer. Obviously, we just talked about him.
Yeah, man, he was so funny in that movie. His character had me cracking up. Like when the water comes flying out the door, and he's on the damn front door, floating down the road, and the alligator comes by, and he's just like,
This was based on a 1981 children's book by Chris Van Allsburg. They talk about again the early CGI for the animals, how groundbreaking it was at the time. They did a really good job on making the animals there.
Yeah, they did.
They talk about Robin Williams' performance, how it anchors both the humor and the emotional core, because he has a couple of emotional moments in it, but it's mostly just the comedy and stuff.
Yeah.
It spawned an animated series and later blockbuster reboots and sequels.
Two movies.
The box office was approximately 65 million. Worldwide gross 262 million, and it's one of the top grossing films of 1995 worldwide. So
they said that how they ended the second technically how they ended the third Jumanji movie, where basically the one Bonnie the one that was married to Fraser in Cheers.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've ever seen the third movie, but how they ended it was where she's still living in the town, and basically she's coming out of this like tavern or some restaurant, and then she's like standing there and she's like got her keys getting ready to unlock the door on her car, and then you see all these monkeys come running down the sidewalk. And then you see and then she's looking up after she sees the monkeys, and then you see that those slow rhino. Remember the slow rhino that was in the first movie? And it goes, it's like, boom, 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 and it's just like cruising down the road. Yeah. And they said that literally, if they make a fourth movie, that it's gonna have all the original characters from the first movie back in the fourth movie.
Minus one.
So,
did you know Robin Williams has a character based off what I think it's a character of him based off one of his movie characters in the World of Warcraft?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's got an homage thing paid homage to him on it. And he has a daughter named Zelda. He named his daughter Zelda.
Nice, nice.
So, it's crazy stuff. Um, but yeah, that's my 5. Marty's
And that's
5.
my five.
We
So,
like to throw 5 honorable mentions out there. Me and Marty discussed this beforehand. We're not going to break them down or anything, but we're going to toss them out there. These could have very easily been on either one of our lists. And
and one of mine is Keanu Reeves, maybe Johnny Mnemonic. I liked that movie. That's one of my honorable mentions. So,
oh, well, see now you got extra. Now you get ambitious on me, and you want to do a little research and throw something extra out there on me. I see.
well, I knew about Johnny Mnemonic anyways, just because of big Keanu Reeves fan. Been ever since Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Johnny
So
Mnemonic is Neo before Neo got there.
exactly.
He knows kung fu. We talked about Assassins, Sylvester Stallone and Antonio Banderas. Great movie. Talked about Congo.
Yes,
Um,
Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell was in that.
you got Ernie
Ernie Hudson. Yeah.
Ernie Hudson's in it. Who plays the main
Tim Curry. Tim Curry was in it.
Curry? Who's the guy with the gorilla?
I know his face
Yeah, I
because
can't think of his name.
he was on Nip Tuck
Yeah.
back a couple of years ago. So,
We talked about Die Hard with a Vengeance, the Die Hard Trace.
yeah.
Rumble in the Bronx. I guarantee you, if traffic had been here Travis would have been here this
Travis.
week. That would have been one of his 5 right there, probably.
Yeah, more likely because that was one of his 5 out of out of the 10 that we did from the 90s.
Exactly. So he would have had this for that year as well, I'm sure. And Apollo 13 is where we kind of rounded it off at. We're like, you know what? Apollo 13 wasn't bad. I mean, I didn't. It's not one I go back and watch often or anything. If I
Yeah,
catch
me
it on
neither.
TV and nothing else is on, I might watch it. But and then there's there's a ton of movies, obviously.
Oh,
Every year
man, there's so many movies that they done in '95. That's just a lot of really good movies. I mean,
so just take
90, 95 was the year of movies, technically.
Well, I mean, you can't really say that because we could say 85 had a lot of great movies in it, which it did. We can say 86 had a lot of great movies. We can say 89 had great movies. We can say 93, 91. All these decades we could hit and we could pull out. We'd have a hard time making just 5 movies out of each decade.
Yeah,
And hard time getting 10. I mean, me and Travis have done several episodes already of 10 movies from a certain decade, and it's difficult because you start looking, you want to start listing off all these other movies that you like. How can I say this one without bringing this one up? Because this was great, but this
exactly.
was great
Yeah.
too. Which do I pick? It's hard to really narrow some down. So I I think the point of these lists that we're doing is that we're just laying it out there for people and giving them some decent choices of movies. They can sit back and watch again, or they can go back and watch some of them for the first time. You never know.
Exactly.
But that's pretty much got us wrapped up for the week, Marty. We done.
Yeah.
And we still went an hour 13. I thought we'd wrap it up in an hour this time, but no.
When we start talking about our movies, we start talking about our movies.
I know. I mean, hey, it's hard to not, get excited about the best decades of movies, and talk about them. But we'll go ahead and wrap things up. If you liked the episode today, please be sure to like it and share it with your friends and family. If you're not subscribed to us on YouTube, go to YouTube and subscribe. Follow us there. Hit that little bell at the top when we have a new episode come out. It lets you know that we have a new episode for you to watch and everything. We're on iTunes, we're on Spotify, pretty much anywhere where you get your audio podcast at, if that's your method of listening to podcasts the most. We are also online at retrolife, the number 4, the letter u.com, and you can listen to us in the web browser as well. Check out the show notes and everything. And then some of them you might even catch the video in the show notes. I've gotten kind of lazy lately, though, and I haven't been putting them in there. I will admit. But I'm thinking to myself, why do that when you can just go to YouTube and watch it there and be a member of our lovely community?
Hit that bell, hit that bell.
Hit that bell. Like he said, hit that bell. If we could start getting enough people to really get into it and wanting to be a part of something fun, I've actually got a Discord channel. I don't really promote the Discord channel because there's no reason to promote it right now. Not enough people would come over to it. But eventually, when we start getting enough people that want to hold conversations and have fun and share video clips of some of their favorite stuff, I will start referring you to the Discord channel as well. It's a lot of fun. It's a blast to be a part of Discord and with a community of people and everything.
Yeah.
Marty,
Yes.
it's been great. It's been fun. Travis, sorry you missed out, buddy. Hope you guys had a great weekend. But thank you everybody for being a part of this and listening. If you have anything you want to send out to us in email for a suggestion or comments on the show today, you can reach us at retrolife4you@gmail.com, and I will be sure to get back with you as I do with everybody else. So Marty, we will be back next week with a new episode, and look forward to seeing
Peace
you guys.
out.
Exactly. Next week, everybody.
Yeah.